What's up guys? Today I'm gonna go over the ideal setup for a CRBN4 Trufoam. For context, I've been playing with this CRBN4 for about a month or so, I would say, maybe a little bit more. When I first switched from the CRBN2 to the CRBN4, I felt like the sweet spot was a little bit smaller, but after a week or two, I've been resetting back to my normal. If you haven't already, you can check out my CRBN4 video somewhere over here. Just to make it easy so that everyone can see, I'm gonna do a new setup on my brand new CRBN4. I'm not gonna switch it up too much from the tried and true, but I am gonna switch it up a little bit based on the materials and just to try out something slightly different. Before I go over my whole setup, I just wanna give a brief overview of my paddle philosophy and what I'm trying to achieve with my setup. In general, I feel like pickleball is a game of errors, so I want to maximize my consistency by enlarging the sweet spot. So in general, I'm going to prioritize stability over hitting the ball slightly harder. That being said, I do enjoy aggressive shots like rolls, flicks, high speed ups, you name it. So I will account for that in my setup. By the way, you can use code PickleLee for a discount on anything you see in the video. So now let's get into the setup. First things first, I just take off the plastic. I do enjoy undergrips on my paddle, so I'm gonna use the Ethos lightweight undergrip. This is right hand specific, so if you're a lefty, you might have to use a different option. Take out the undergrip, and you also take off the stock grip of the paddle. This seems to be carbon specific, but there is some sticky residue afterwards, like some tape, and I highly recommend you take off the tape before putting on a undergrip. We have all of the tape off of the handle. Now it's time to put on the undergrip. The Ethos undergrips come in one size, a 6-inch length, so you can cut it to make it fit the paddle. So for the Ethos, after lining it up, I'm gonna cut it right about at that line. We snipped the undergrip. Now time to put it on. We have successfully put on the undergrip. Now it's time for the overgrip. So today I'm using the DryTech Overgrip Ultra Tack. So it's gonna be a tackier version of the one I currently use. I enjoy tackier overgrips personally, so I think this will be right up my alley. Since my last paddle was green, I'm gonna do the blue this time. All right, we have a little bit of plastic layer on it. Time to put on the overgrip. All right, overgrip added. I forgot to weigh my paddle before the process, so I'm gonna weigh my other one over here. It does still have the plastic on, but I think it'll be close enough. Okay, this is at 8.11 ounces, so a little bit heavier, honestly. Let's weigh mine right now. Mine is currently at 8.45 ounces. So because the undergrip is weight, it will bring the balance point a little bit lower because the weight's on the bottom, and it will increase the power and stability a little bit because you're increasing the overall weight of the paddle. I do like adding a little bit more weight over here just to open up the sweet spot even more. Just a brief overview, anything on the side of your paddle will increase the sweet spot the most. Anything towards the top will increase power the most. And anything towards the bottom will have the least effect because it's closer to your handle. Today, I'm gonna use Carbon's new tungsten tape. It weighs 3 grams per 2.5 inches, so it is a little bit denser than I'm used to. I think I would prefer a less dense one so it's more versatile, but I can't knock it till I try it. Going ahead and opening this thing up. Comes in a little bag and it has carbon logos on it. The packaging says that every logo to logo is 2.5 inches. I'm gonna try and do some quick math here. So if my paddle is 8.45, adding 3 grams on each side is 0.2 ounces, so 8.65. Then adding a 7-gram flick weight will be around 8.9 something, which is around where I want it. So I'm just gonna add 3 grams this time. I'm just gonna eyeball it this time, but I'm just gonna make sure the lengths are the same so my paddle is balanced. So what I cut off is 0.11 ounces, so just about what I wanted. Gonna line these two things up just to get an accurate cut. All right, there we go, 2 identical strips. Now I'm gonna peel off the adhesive and put it right above the curve. This one, I kind of just wing it, but make sure they're in the same place. I just kind of eyeball it, put it down very lightly, and then I do these to make sure they're okay. This one is a little bit higher, so I bring it down a touch. It's getting closer, but I feel like this side is a little higher still, so bringing it down even more. I think after one more adjustment, and I think I got it. That looks good to me. So now I'm gonna push it down a little bit more. The current weight is 8.66. The final step is to put on the flick weight. I like the flick weight because it makes it easier for wristy shots because all of the weight is in the handle. If you imagine a hammer, it's easier to swing it around if you're holding the actual head of it versus holding the handle. So in that same logic, if you have more weight towards the handle, it's easier to do more wristy stuff. With the flick weight that I put on my review paddles, I've used it over 15 times and it's still sticking pretty strong. So I'm just gonna reuse the flick weight on my old setup. Plus I like the neon yellow. We took off the flick weight. Now time to put it on this guy. Now we're done. I like the color combination of the blue and the neon yellow, honestly. So the total weight is going to be 8.94 ounces. My old setup was also around 8.9 something. The difference was this had 4 grams of lead tape over here instead of the 3 grams. So I assumed this stock paddle was a little bit heavier. I think this one was 7.9. Since paddles come in at different weights, you just have to adjust your setup accordingly. So I'm gonna switch to this new paddle for the time being. I assume it will play very similar, but I'll let you know if I enjoy the weight more concentrated versus spread higher up. One benefit I see is that it could be easier to flick because more of the weight is towards the bottom, but it is a very minor difference. This is the general setup that I put on my paddles, Trufoam or not. I just like enlarging the sweet spot as much as I can for consistency. And putting it around here is the best bang for your buck in terms of amount of lead tape. But I do like my more aggressive wristy shots, so I try to balance it all out with a undergrip and the flick weight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment any ideas you have for me, and subscribe. It means a lot. I'll see you in the next video.